Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here this morning. Go ahead and grab your Bible and let's go back and we'll continue in the 121st Psalm. We'll be picking up in the third verse there, 121, verse 3. This is a marvelous little psalm. Uh, if I had to put my title on it, I'd call it When Life is Hard. Um, when life is hard. And we started in this psalm yesterday and looked at these first couple of verses, and the psalmist really kind of gives us the key foundational point for a heart when life is hard. I'm going to lift up my eyes to the hills from where my help comes. I'm going to focus um, on God Himself during this time. But now we move on, and as we see here in verse 3, he tells us why he's going to look to God. He's because he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Two statements there in that verse that are just should be a huge encouragement to you today for whatever battles you face, whatever you're going through in life, that He will not suffer your foot to be moved, and He that's keeping you will not sleep. And this statement, He will not suffer thy foot to be moved, would have been really um, very real, I guess is the way to say that, to his original audience, to that Jewish audience. The area around Jerusalem where, again, they didn't have paved roads and automobiles. Much of their travel was done on foot. And so they often traveled on rough, rugged roads, very rocky roads. And you know, I have discovered this the older I get, the worse I do walking on uneven ground. I need to be on pavement. I need to be on a floor. Just to walk through the yard is seems to be a challenge anymore. And these people have understood that. And the idea of stepping on a rock, twisting your ankle. But no, he says God's going to give you a solid step. You can walk with confidence when you are following Him. When you're trusting God, you can walk confidently. You can walk boldly, knowing that He is watching over our life, our steps. And one of the things that happens to humans, and whether we're talking about walking or driving, it's been a little while back now, but I was meeting a fella, and we were going to meet at the Burger King in Salisbury, and I got there early, and we were just going to meet in the parking lot, just swap the keys, all we were doing. But I got there early, and I hadn't had lunch, so I ran in. Thought I maybe I could grab me a burger real quick before he got there. Well, lo and behold, I look up and he's pulling in the parking lot. So I go hurrying out, trying to catch him, and I'm watching to see where he goes and watch where he parks. And as I go out, I just promptly proceeded to miss the step between the curb and the parking lot, and I went rolling across the parking lot. And scared him to death. He saw me fall and bounced me around the parking lot there because I wasn't paying attention. A lot of people wreck their cars not paying attention, and the age we live in, texting, or we get distracted and look over to the side and looking at something else. You'll see it a lot of times on the interstate. There'll be a wreck over on the, say, the northbound side, and somebody in the southbound side will be looking and not paying attention and hit the car in front of them. Distracted, not paying attention, and just not being alert. But look what the psalmist says about our God. He doesn't slumber. In other words, he doesn't get distracted. He doesn't go to sleep at the wheel, as we sometimes do. That he is diligently, constantly looking over his people, looking over his children, and taking care of them. Again, he says it again in verse 4. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. He just reminds God's people that God is always uh, on the watch. He's always uh, guarding and looking over his people. And what a comfort that is to us today. What an encouragement. Should put a little make our steps a little lighter today. Put a little shout in us to know that we have a God who is just as diligently and carefully looking over us today as he did the people of Israel in this psalm. And we can go back and look all through the Old Testament of how God took care of and protected his people, whether he was bringing them out of their Egyptian bondage, whether he was feeding them when they were hungry. All those things that God was doing, looking after his people. And so today, know that whatever you go through and whatever you're facing, that you can face it with confidence, you can face it with courage, because the Lord looks over your steps and he does not sleep, nor does he slumber. I hope that encourages you today. It certainly should. As you go through the day, to know that we have a God that never sleeps, never slumbers, but is always on duty. Have a great day. We will see you back here soon.